Good morning, everyone. Let us start today's session. During last lecture, we were discussing about the section 1.1 from the module 1. In that, we have seen the coplanar force system, the classification of force system, and principle of transmissibility. So just we will take the review of the last lecture. So the first definition in the section 1.1, it is the system of forces. So system of forces is called collection of forces and the couples acting on an object, or in a simple language we can say it is the group of the forces. So if the forces for any system are more than one, then we can call this as a system of forces. So first example, it is the only force, that is a single force acting on the object. So this force is because of the self weight, that is the W is equal to mg. In the second diagram, the object is subjected to different forces in the different directions and from the different positions. So you can see. So here F1, F2, F3, these are the external forces. W is the self weight and N is the normal reaction. And because of these forces, if the object get accelerated in the X direction, then there will be friction force. So all these forces, they form a system of forces. So this is second example for the system of forces, where the two persons are sitting on a bench. So each person has some weight. So these two forces and the reactions offered by the table or the bench will form one system of forces. So here suppose this is force F1, F2 and reactions R1 and R2. All these forces F1, F2, reaction R1 and reaction R2 will form one system of forces. Then we have seen the classification for the system of forces. It is mainly divided into two parts. One is a coplanar and second is the non-coplanar. So non-coplanar is also called as a space force. Again, in the coplanar or non-coplanar forces, we have three types. First is the concurrent, second is the parallel, and third is the general force system. So coplanar force system means if all the forces are acting in a single plane, maybe horizontal plane or vertical plane, we call this system as a coplanar force system. So here you can see two examples where different forces acting on object are lying in the single plane. So these are some examples for the coplanar force system. This is the board which is supported by using 4 cables at the 4 corners. So tension in these cables will lie in a single vertical plane and therefore it is a coplanar force system. This is example for the non-coplanar force system. So definition is if the forces are acting in a different planes, we call the system as a non-coplanar force system, or this is called as space forces. That is force represented in the 3 dimension. So here F1, F2, F3, these are 3 forces acting in 3 different planes of the cube, as you can see on the figure. So this is non-coplanar force system. Then the concurrent force system, this is a type of the coplanar or non-coplanar force system. So definition is if the line of action of all the forces passes through a single point, such force system is called as concurrent force system. So here F1, F2, F3, 3 forces are acting on a rigid body, and the line of action of these forces passing from F1, F2 and F3, they are meeting at a common point. So that is the point O. So this is called as point of concurrency and therefore it is a concurrent force system. So second, you can see the example where 2 cables are connected to one hook, F1 and F2. These are the forces in the cable. So these 2 forces F1 and F2, if you draw the line of action, So this line of action will pass through the single point. So this is the intersecting point, or this is called as point of concurrency. And this system is called as a concurrent force system. So necessary for concurrent force system is if there are more than one forces acting on object, and if the line of action of all the forces meeting at a single point, then the system will be called as a concurrent force system. The second type, it is the parallel force system. So by the name, it is clear what is meaning of parallel force system. If all the forces or line of action of all the forces parallel to each other, then we can call the system as a parallel force system. So here different forces 500, 400, 600 and 700, they are exactly parallel to each other. Then general force system is if the forces are acting at different points and in the different directions. Okay. So here F1, F2, F3, F4 and F5, these forces are acting at different locations or different points of the object and in the different directions. So this is called as a general force system. Then we were discussing about the principle of transmissibility. So principle of transmissibility means a force being a sliding vector continues to act along its line of action and therefore makes no change if it acts from different points on its line of action on a rigid body. Okay. So if the object is rigid, then we can show the force along its line of action at different locations. Still, its effect will remain same. There is no change in the effect. So here you can see this is a rigid object and we are applying some force at location 1. So if you draw the line of action, that is the imaginary line passing through the force vector. So this is a line of action. So we can show this force at another location on the same line of action. So this is the location 2 or point 2. The same force is acting at point 2. So effect will remain same. That means if this object accelerated with some acceleration a, let us take it is 1 meter per second square, then second object will accelerate with the same acceleration, that is a is equal to 1 meter per second square. That means if we change the location of the force along its line of action at some different point, then there will be no change in its effect. Okay, so this is the equality between force acting at location 1 and force acting at location 2. So this is called as principle of transmissibility. So we can take one simple example. So this is the cupboard. Okay. So on this cupboard, if you apply some force at point which is shown in the figure. So this is the force applied. So let us take this force as a F and it is 20 Newton. So it is acting at point A. So suppose this cupboard is kept on horizontal surface like this. So if you apply the force F and suppose there is no friction from this direction, so friction, it is equal to 0. Okay. So what is the effect of this force F, which is 20 Newton? It will cause the acceleration of this object or cupboard in the positive x direction. So suppose this acceleration, it is equal to 1 meter per second square. Okay. So what is meaning of principle of transmissibility? So this is the acceleration because of the force applied on the object. Suppose we draw one imaginary line passing through the force vector. So this line is called as a line of action. So this is the line of action for the force. So by the definition of principle of transmissibility, we can change the position of the force or location of the force from point A to another point. Let us take, if I take the point on the same line of action at some different location, that is a point B, then we can transmit this force at location B as it is. Still, its acceleration will remain same. So in this case, the cupboard will be accelerated with the same acceleration as the previous case. So this is called as principle of transmissibility. Okay. So next part in the module 1, it is the composition and the resolution of forces. So right now we are discussing section 1.1, system of coplanar forces. In that we have studied classification, then principle of transmissibility, and now we will study composition and the resolution of forces. So first we will discuss what is meaning of resolution of force. So you can see here the definition for resolution of force. So resolution of force, it implies breaking up the single force into two components, or we can say two parts, such that if components combined together would have the same effect. So this is called as resolution of forces. In simple language, we can say we have to break the given force into two parts. That is called as resolution. So we will now discuss how to resolve the force into rectangular components. So rectangular components means we have to break the given force in the x direction and in the y direction. So this is called as rectangular components for the force. How to resolve the forces in the first quadrant, second, third, and fourth quadrant. So consider the force acting in the first quadrant. So this is the force F. It is acting at angle theta. So here angle is given with respect to x-axis. And in the second diagram, force is acting in the first quadrant only. The only change is angle given with respect to y-axis. So even force magnitude is same, angle is same, but angle theta is with respect to y-axis. Now we have to find out the components of the force along x and y axis. So first step is show the vector along the x axis and vector along the y axis. So these vectors are nothing but the x component and this is the y component. Okay. So we have to write the value for fx. So fx is equal to, it is equal to F, that is a force magnitude. Observe the angle. So theta is given with respect to x axis. So x component will be adjacent. So it is cos theta. So this is the adjacent component. Now y component, as theta is given with respect to x axis, this is the opposite. So it is F sine theta. So this is called as opposite component. Okay. Now in the second diagram, force is acting in the first quadrant only. Angle theta is given with respect to y axis. Okay, so first show the vectors along x and y direction. So this is called as x component, this is the y component. So fx here, so now fx will be opposite component because angle theta is given with respect to y axis. So we can write here f sine theta, and fy it is equal to f cos theta. So what is important when you resolve the force? Observe the angle. If the angle is given with respect to x axis, x component will be cosine, and if the angle is given with respect to y axis, y component will be cosine. That is the only change. Okay, so now consider the second quadrant. So force F is acting in the second quadrant like this. The angle given with respect to x axis is a theta. So we have to find out the x and y component. So fx and fy. So these are the component vectors along x and y direction. This is fy along y direction. This is fx. So fx value, it will be cos theta only because theta is given with respect to x axis. So we will write this as a f cos theta, and fy value, it will become f sin theta. Okay. So what is the only change when the force acting in the second quadrant? If you compare the first quadrant, we get the same components. Fx is equal to f cos theta, fy is equal to f sin theta. Then what is the change if you compare this with respect to the first quadrant? As the force is acting in the second quadrant, its x component is directed towards the negative x direction. Okay, that means in the calculation, we have to take this value fx as a minus f cos theta. Fy will remain positive because fy is acting along the positive y direction only. Okay, but in the calculation, we have to take this value as a minus f cos theta. Okay, now in the second diagram, I will change the angle. So angle is taken with respect to y axis. So fx, it is equal to f cos theta. So it is negative because it is acting along the negative x direction. And fy, it is equal to f sin theta. Okay. So this value is nothing but the magnitude of the x component. Okay. But suppose we have to represent this in direction, then we can write this as so suppose we want to represent fx and its direction, then we can write this as force value is f cos theta and its direction, it is towards the negative x direction. So direction is specified by using this arrow. So if it is directed towards the negative x direction, in the calculation, we have to take the value as a minus. Okay. For Fy, the value is or magnitude is f sine theta. So it is represented as f sine theta, and this direction is positive y direction. Okay. So I hope this resolution is clear in the second quadrant and how to represent the force. So this is the force component representation. F cos theta acting towards the negative x direction. Okay. And in the calculation, when we add different components, then we have to take this value as a minus. So now we will see how to resolve the force in the third quadrant.